Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Friday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see ya. Man, it is midnight. I was planning on doing this a little earlier. I had a very, very full afternoon after work. I actually took a little time off work earlier. I got off work earlier because I had to run some errands. But I took this pill for my neck pain, and it's supposed to make you drowsy. And I took it maybe about a half hour ago. So if I doze off right in front of you guys, somebody wake me up. No, and on top of that, found my favorite show on the planet Earth, and it's been in front of me all this time, and I had no idea. Oh my goodness! If you guys know Family Ties, that is my ultimate show. I could watch that over and over and over again. In fact, I have. Which brings me to my topic for tonight. You know, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this joke. It's not that funny, but it drives a purpose, right? So, guys are sitting in prison, and they're bored, right? And they've told the same joke over and over and over to each other, right? And because they've talked about these jokes over and over and over again, they don't want to repeat the jokes. So now they say joke number one, joke number two, and people know what that is. So they're sitting around, and somebody says joke number six, and somebody from the back goes, that's funny. And somebody says joke number 11, and somebody says, that's kind of funny, right? And then somebody says, and they had all these jokes up to 1 to 50, right? They had all these jokes. So somebody turns around from the back, says, joke 51. Everybody's like kind of quiet. And then this guy busts up laughing. Like, he is hysterical. He's just laughing at the top of his lungs. And everybody looks at him. They're like, what are you laughing at? He goes, that was a new joke. I hadn't heard that before. Get it? Number 51. They only had jokes 1 to 50. Anyway, I know maybe it's not that funny, but it brings us to this point. The point is this. Some jokes lose their flavor the more you tell them, right? Some jokes, when you tell them over and over and over and over and over and over again, everybody's like, oh my God, he's going to tell the same joke again, same punchline again. It loses its flavor. It doesn't have its oomph anymore, right? It doesn't have that, what do I want to call it? It doesn't have that power anymore. The first time you say it, it kind of, people pay attention to it, right? People catch it, right? But he said twice, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like, dude, stop with that joke. And that's like everything in life. Listen, the complaints that you have, the complainings that you have, the things you complain about, they get redundant. They get boring. They lose their flavor. They lose their power. They lose their interest. Nobody wants to listen to you complaining and moaning and blaming about the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Nobody, not even you do. You wouldn't sit there and in front of a mirror and complain all day to yourself, right? You wouldn't just sit there and complain to yourself all day. You'd get tired. You'd be like, I gotta go eat. I gotta go do something. You wouldn't do that to yourself. So why do you think somebody else would sit there and listen to all that over and over, right? So if something as a joke runs its course, loses its flavor, if something like friendship, marriage, partnerships, these things run their course, right? Then so should your complaints, your blames. Catch yourself. You start to complain about something, catch yourself. Stop it. Stop it. If you, I give you an example. Somebody cut me off today really bad in the freeway. Like really bad. And I know she wasn't paying attention, but she cut me off really. I mean, we literally almost got into an accident. But normally I would get so ticked off, you know. I did get ticked off. I was like, oh. And then I calmed myself. It was kind of weird. I calmed myself and I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't be upset. I mean, everybody's okay. Why am I upset? And I almost, it was a weird catch because I don't think I've ever done that before. Because I normally would just go, you know, a couple times and then I'd be like over it. But, but I'm asking you to catch yourself. If you're going to be complaining, if you're going to be blaming, if you're going to be doing all that stuff, be aware that as soon as it kicks in, be aware and catch yourself and be like, hey, if my joke is not going to be that funny after a few times, imagine what my complaining can be like to others. Right? So keep that in mind. Then and it's not like okay. So you want to keep an eye, keep an eye on the behavior, the pattern, right? The pattern. Things kick in and we start complaining, nagging, blaming, right? And that's the pattern. You got to catch the pattern. And once you catch that pattern, you're like, oh, I complain here about this. I complain about here about this, right? So you can connect them once you catch the pattern. And I'm asking you to be conscious of the pattern. Make sense? Hopefully you guys get some love, inspiration, value, all that good stuff. Drop your thoughts, your feedback below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. I want to know if you've had a breakthrough like that, to where you catch yourself immediately and you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. Drop those thoughts below. I appreciate you guys, and remember, until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.